Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? It is your boy Noah Jones, and welcome to Today in Hip Hop, episode 24, the Ghostwriters Edition. We are calling this the Ghostwriters Edition because, ladies and gentlemen, some news has surfaced that nobody's really talking about your boy Snoop Dogg having ghostwriters. Now, being as that I lived in the West Coast for numerous years, I've heard about these allegations myself a long time ago. I heard that Badass, rest in peace, used to pen some of Snoop Dogg's stuff, and there's a lot of other people as well. But it's never really been announced to the public and been that transparent to where people know what's going on. So what you guys need to understand is this music industry, there is a lot of frauding going on, and there's a lot of misdirection and misconception to where we think that these artists are not only living the lifestyle that they portray, that they are the ones creating the music themselves, and they are not. You cannot call somebody the best rapper or he's one of the dopest if he does not pen his own lyrics, ladies and gentlemen. You can't be the best if somebody's giving you all the material. That's like being in a competitive sport and people using steroids. You're getting assistance. I, for one, as a rapper, have never had a ghostwriter. I write all my music myself. Over 11 albums worth of material. Probably almost 1,000 features that I've done for people. I don't use ghostwriters. So you can never tell me that anybody that uses ghostwriters is a better artist than me. They can't write better. They can't rap better. They ain't got more style because they are taking bits and pieces from other people to make their final product what it is, ladies and gentlemen. And to me, that's not what real rap is all about. Now, I understand that it is a business. It is a business. So there are people that will be willing to pay artists, even artists such as myself, for my pen game, which in essence is fine. But do not claim to be the best. Do not claim to be anything if you are getting your biggest hits and your records written by somebody else. You know what I mean? So let's hear a little bit of this from the horse's mouth, or better yet, from the dog's mouth. Here you go.
Snoop, let me ask you a question. Do you feel like rappers, and this is not a knock on anybody, but do you feel rappers that write their own raps do it better than someone writing it for them? Because it feel like, I can read, when someone gives me something to write, so Shannon, I want you to do this, I gotta write it how I would talk. I can't just read it because I can't read what you write because it's not going to sound like it's coming from me. So you might write something, but I got to put it down on paper how I would actually say it. So when you write a rap, that's you as opposed to someone giving you something.
Well, I've been on both sides of that coin.
Okay.
Deep cover, I wrote all of that, 100% of that. Nothing but a G thing, 100% of that. And that's me and Dr. Dre. But I wrote it in Dr. Dre's voice.
Okay.
That when I was writing like I was him.
Okay.
Saying it like I was him. And then once he got it, naturally, a few words he said, I wouldn't say it like that, I'm going to say it like this. All right, well, go ahead. It's yours now. So make it yours.
Right.
And then on the same, when I had people write for me, I got a homie named Superfly that write. And when he writes for me, he writes for me in my voice. So my voice is what he's writing in. So if I take it and say, well, I want to change a few words, he still wrote it for me, but it's me putting what I feel that gonna make it feel all the way like Snoop Dogg. Sometimes I don't have to change none of the words with writers that write for me. It's been a number of writers that have written for me that I don't have to change anything, and I could just take it and just work with it and let it do what it do. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm open like that. And a lot of times when you writing for somebody, you're actually writing in their voice as opposed to Snoop Dogg gonna write a song for Shannon where Shannon gonna sound like Snoop. Nah, Shannon gonna sound like Shannon. It's just depend. For example, the song Still D.R.E.
Right.
Song.
Right.
Jay-Z wrote that song. The whole song. Even the parts that I sang.
Wow.
See, but you didn't know that till I told you that.
Right.
Because he wrote it in the voice of Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg.
Well, you got the Snoop.
Now here's some more information as far as that. Now, let me show you how somebody diverts. Check this out. First and foremost, there is no way that you can make me believe that you wrote complete compositions of anything if you have somebody that can, in essence, write an entire verse for you, hand deliver it to you, and you not even change the words. See, a real writer does not need that kind of help. So I can't believe that you wrote a whole composition or a whole song or a whole album when you have somebody that in essence will write the entire whole thing for you and give it to you, and you don't have to change a word. So that lets you know right then and there. Now I'll take it a little deeper, because I look at it like this. Okay, we all know that Jay-Z did the Snoop DRE record. You know what I'm saying? That's been well known in the industry. That came out a long time ago. So the people that know about that know. But I take it a step further. If you got Superfly writing for you, how many other writers you have? You could have been getting writers your entire career, and here's the thing. If you're getting writers on your 4th and 5th album, there's no way in hell you're gonna tell me that you wrote the first 2 or 3 albums, because you're still getting help on the 4th and 5th. So it wasn't like, okay, you started out with a ghostwriter, then you learned how to write yourself and practice, and now you're completely autonomous and you're writing all your music yourself. He's basically saying that he has numerous writers that do this for him. So that leads me to believe, and of course he's gonna divert to the Still DRE record because that's the one that everybody knows about. But dig a little deeper. What other records does he have that's out there that everybody believes that Snoop wrote, that somebody else wrote the entire thing for him? You know what I'm saying? And those artists aren't getting credit for that work. They're not getting credit. Nobody knows. So not only that, it's a common thing in the industry, ladies and gentlemen. Now here's the thing. These artists learn this from somebody. They learn it from somewhere. They don't just wake up and say, you know what, I'm gonna fly this other artist in, or I'm gonna pay for his studio time to write all my stuff for me, or whatever the case may be. It's not a random thought. They are taught this method. You know what I mean? Kind of like what they have now. They have artist development. Well, they used to have artist development, this was probably part of the artist development. Getting somebody to write your stuff for you because you may have the image, or you may have the style, or you may look different enough to where you attract a lot of attention because you don't look like everybody else. So what happens is they do artist development on you and they turn you into a star. Nowadays, we calling that industry plants, where they take a random person off the street that has no talent and they completely turn them into a star. I'm not saying Snoop has no talent. I'm saying what they do today. It's called an industry plant, where they basically scoop up somebody that nobody knows, change their image, change their look, dump a bunch of money into them, and then when they come out of nowhere, they're extremely successful because they got a big label and a budget backing their entire situation. So that being said, this is a crazy thing. So now look, let's go a little deeper. Remember, now he's put out there that he has numerous writers. He has plenty of writers that do this for him. And he has a vast catalog. So that means this could have been going on forever. Also, who is he tied to? And who does he work with that is also following the same protocol? Because if you're not writing your own raps, you're not going to go into a studio session with somebody and they expect you to write something and you say, hold up, I got to call my ghostwriter. Because that's a lot of people that you would have to have sign non-disclosure agreements. You're going to have a lot of people be hush-hush at the fact that Snoop Dogg has a ghostwriter or ghostwriters. So if you think about it from a logical standpoint, maybe a lot of the people that he works with or has worked with in the past, as far as the features he's done for people or whatever, they follow the same rules, the same pattern. They got ghostwriters as well. So it's no problem. It's just a bunch of people in one room working on a whole bunch of records together. And that's a common situation. You'll have 5 or 6 rappers all writing raps, and then the main artist will basically pull what he wants from each artist and compile a compilation of the hottest lyrics for a hot verse or whatever the case may be. That's one of the things that happens. It's a writer team. They have writer teams, just like they have producer teams, where you would think, okay, Timbaland or Dr. Dre is the one who produced this record, not knowing that there's 5 or 6 other producers in the room that are laying the chorus, that are laying the drums, that are laying this, and then he's just orchestrating where he wants everything to be. They have production teams. You know what I'm saying? So when you hear, like, for example, Hitmaker does a lot of, if you look him up, Young Berg, aka Hitmaker, he rebranded himself from Young Berg to Hitmaker, and he's a producer. Now, he works with a producer team. One of these individuals, I'm not going to name who, I know personally because I've worked with this guy. I've recorded to some of his beats. But he's in a crew where he has 2 or 3 other producers that produce the records with Hitmaker, and then they brand it all together under the Hitmaker label or brand or whatever the case may be. So you'll hear, oh, it's Hitmaker that did this hot joint, but you don't hear about the other 3 producers that also added elements to that record to make it what it is. It's a team effort, you know what I'm saying? And everybody's winning together. Not saying that that's a bad thing. You know, if you can incorporate people to get, you know, ultimately what they're out for is the accolades, the stats, whatever. But it goes down to talent, in my opinion. If you're that talented, you don't need anybody else. You don't need to bring in a whole bunch of people. You know what I'm saying? Bringing in so many different people, it slows everything up. Which, in my opinion, is why Dr. Dre hasn't released a whole bunch of projects. Because when you have to rely on so many other individuals and get them all on the same page and get them all to be quiet, it's hard to put out music. It's hard to be consistent when you got to keep everybody quiet. And then all of a sudden you're going to have this guy who got a dope sound, but he's not getting paid the way he's supposed to get paid. So what happens? He stops working with the team, and now you don't have that signature sound that you used to have that made your joints pop. So then you end up going on a hiatus and falling back behind the scenes to where now you're not putting out any music. So they're looking at it like, yo, he's supposed to be coming out with this, they're supposed to be coming out with this, not knowing that the key elements and the key people that were really behind making the music are no longer involved in the creative process due to them going their separate ways, whether it's through, you know, not getting paid or issues or not getting the credit that they deserve, or maybe there was okay, I'll do this as a favor and you got to put me in position and it never comes through. So it's a lot of things like that that go on in the industry where these original creators of these unique sounds are no longer there, and it takes these people forever to put out projects. You know what I mean? The ghost situation is huge. So when you're rating these rappers and you're rating these producers, dig a little deeper, because ultimately the person you think that's doing all the work and coming up with all the bars and doing all that, 9 times out of 10, they not the ones that's doing it. They got a team of writers. They got a whole organization of people that are putting these joints together for them to give them that sound so they never run out of material, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? So, that being said, this is episode 24, Today in Hip Hop, the hottest podcast in the game right now. It's your boy Noah Jones. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Love y'all. Peace.